Oh, you got me again. Well, whatever class those buggies are, they're cool.
No, that was really cool. I'd like to watch more of their stuff.
I'm sure it'll be on the internet at some point, right? Hopefully.
Well, I mean, it already was. That's how you showed me.
Yeah. That is how I showed you. Other things on the internet. Jesse shared an article from The Drive, which is a little bit... It's a few days old now. Not that it matters, because this is going to come out after that, but
and
whatever.
I just saw some sponsored post via Facebook about it. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys watched any of the videos or read the article or anything, but it was like a YouTuber bought it, gave it away. The guy didn't take the money, so the original...
No, he
took the money, not the car. Yeah. So the original owner bought it back.
Still has it, basically.
Still has it. So pretty cool.
So the original owner was the Caleb something. I can't remember his handle, but the guy who built it, he sold it for $30,000 to the YouTuber. Then the YouTuber tried to give it away, and then couldn't give it away. Well, he gave it away, but the guy took cash, and he took the car back. So, but yeah, I watched that horrible human being make that video. I don't like his style. It's just something about him that irks me.
It's funny you say that, because I was reading through the comments on The Drive, and I don't know if you guys ever look at The Drive, but like the commentary section on The Drive is brutal sometimes. And like one of the first comments that I saw was someone saying, "This terrible person, blah, blah, blah." So like, it's funny that you say that. It makes me think there's more going on there that I don't understand, but whatever.
Yeah, it all started with the beginning of his video when he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, like I called this thing a Denali. It's not a Denali, bro. It's like a, Chevy 3500." I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like,
come on, man.
Chevy doesn't make Denali's. Like, that's basic car guy 101. But I will say, like, it was really cool to see the thing going. Like, they did some pretty good video of it on the road and just kind of doing some of the cinematic views of it, which was cool because it is a cool car.
I mean, it's cool. I think I hate like things that are badged like in silly ways for the most part, but the fact that it has a Trail Boss sticker on it makes me chuckle every time I see it. I think it's partly because maybe it'd work in any color, but it's that kind of bad gray color, like charcoal, that those trucks are in a lot of times. It's like they're so boring looking. They're just hey, I got black wheels and Bridgestone Dueler ATs, and now I've got a Trail Boss sticker, which is the model. I get it. It's not that they put that on there, but this person putting it on the Corvette, I think, is hilarious.
Did we talk about what we were actually talking about?
No, he just said C6. He just now said Corvette.
Whoops.
No one mentioned at all what it was.
So it's a C6 Corvette. Quoted the Corvette Trail Boss.
That's right. Yeah, and I definitely said it was on The Drive, but the actual article is called "Lifted Chevy Corvette Trail Boss is the Huracan Storado's American Nightmare for $23,000." That's a lot of SEO. It's really just pushed all in there.
Yeah. Well, but gotta do what you gotta do for those clicks.
The subtitle is great. It's with a 6.2 liter V8 and a stick. That's a whole lot of hell yeah, brother, for the money, which is very right. It is.
I was gonna say that's not wrong at all. Yeah. I mean, that thing is pretty brutal. The only thing I don't like about it is those wheels. I hate the wheels. They're the classic. I don't know. I go to Les Schwab, bro, and get my wheels there
on my Trail Boss. It's part of the build. It's perfect.
I see. You're saying it's very appropriate to the boss.
Yeah. Tell me, do they look like staggered wheel diameter to you? I'm like 90% sure.
Oh yeah, they're 100%.
Definitely.
That's odd. I mean, I know Corvettes do that, and that's probably why they did it. But weird.
I think they had to probably do it to maintain the aspect ratio of the tire to the wheel size, but then also wheel size to the brake calipers.
Yeah, but they have smaller wheels on the front. How does that work for brake? If you needed more brake
actually, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I just made a conundrum. You're right, because the front should have bigger brakes.
That's right.
70-30, 70-30.
17s and 20s, and it's two-wheel drive, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
That's my gripe.
It's one of those things that will never like or get behind.
Just right over Colin's head. Does not get.
The whole Safari,
oh man,
all the cars thing. Like I hate it. I cannot. There's never been something I've been like, oh, that's cool. No, it's always just been like, well, that's stupid.
Not even like a Rothman's Porsche, like an older one.
Did
I find one?
But that's not.
It's the Safari. That is the original Safari,
right? But when that was a original race car,
sure,
type of situation, I'm talking about like
making a car look like that,
making a C6 look like that, making a Prius look like that, making a Jetta look like that. I think it's stupid. I think that a lot of it stemmed from Gambler and people making shitty, cheap cars, quote, off-roadable.
Yeah.
Not really, just, better, more clearance-wise.
They're better at off-road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better at gravel roads. And that became like a whole trend.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. It's not my thing. I'm totally not into it at all. I mean, and people make the excuse of, oh, wow, I bet you it's a hoot to drive and, shit like that. And it's like, yeah, sure, but you're going to look stupid doing it. So
I think...
what was the rules again? Isn't it have fun, look cool is the second rule. So I don't care how much fun you're having. If you're not looking cool doing it...
I'm gonna mic you for a second. Cool is subjective is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
My opinion is end all be all.
I know.
I don't know if you
of course. God, how did I forget that?
I don't know why you would.
I had a lapse in judgment. It's because I don't know anything today.
Yeah.
I think that I agree with you aesthetically a lot of the time on those. I think a lot of them look stupid. I think a lot of Gambler cars don't look good. Man, that guy that wrote in, I'm so sorry, man, if you're still listening, because I'm sure you hate this conversation, but so sorry. I think that a lot of Gambler cars look dumb, but I will say that almost all of them look dumb with a little asterisk to me, which is they seem like a lot of people that build them are having a really good time. And there's like 10 years ago, me would have been like, I don't care if they're having a good time. It's stupid. But me now kind of sees that, like, even so, like at last year, when I was at the Gambler here, there was a like 80s Dodge Reliant or something, like just one of those really bad cars.
Mm-hmm.
And it had side-by-side wheels and tires on it. No, sorry. Side-by-side tires on factory wheels.
Uh-huh.
And then it was cut out. And it was in like great shape. And the guys were having a blast trying to drive it through a ditch that it wasn't making it through. And I just thought that was like one of the coolest things I had seen for weeks, right? And to me, like that part of it, I go, okay, I kind of get it on this. And then this car, and then one I'm going to show you here in a second, if you looked at that link, is to me like the kind of like, I have a little more disposable income money and I want to build something stupid fun like that. When I see that Corvette, I think that's kind of cool. That's like, would I do that? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to fault that guy so much for doing it because I do think it's kind of cool. But
I think it's one of the only C6s that I actually like.
Oh, I actually like C6s. I do.
I'm
especially
not a huge
fan. They've gotten a lot of like momentum in being kind of drift cars with weird style, and I'm into that. I'm very into that. But
I think I may have found it. Class 2000.
Really?
Open wheel. I guess, well, I don't know if they're considered open wheel, but it says open wheel, 2-seat, limited to 1600cc VW engine and Type 1 suspension system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Class 11 is still the same sort of thing, but those are, Class 11, I already did this. Class 11 are bugs. They're stock bugs that are, anyways. Okay. Sorry, I messed that up. Don't know anything.
Yep, we still don't know anything about this. We need to call Ryan and have him
help us out.
Help us out with that. Yeah.
Well, I sent in the chat because I thought this was a neat evolution in this part of the conversation. The off-road C6 Corvette. There's a guy that is quite the YouTuber. He's got a pretty big following. It's Matt, Superfast Matt. Superfast Matt.
Oh man.
Superfast Matt built a off-road Viper, and it's sick. God. he made his own long travel kit for it. And he takes, if you watch that video, I watched it, I don't know, months ago. He like just takes it and tries to like test it in some desert area. And it doesn't do great, but it doesn't do too bad. And he's just having a good time the whole time because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So, anyways, it doesn't even, I think the C6 looks better, to be honest.
This looks pretty bad.
But a first generation Viper done any kind of way is like hilariously cool. It's just like that's pretty funny. Like, never in my wildest imagination would I want to own that thing. But if somebody I'm going to do the thing that you dislike about it. If somebody gave me the keys and a dirt road, I bet it'd be so much fun to drive. I mean, just how much more fun than a stock one that you don't care about? I don't know.
I mean,
but a little bit.
I don't know. Jesus. I struggle to believe that it would be that great. Like, yes, it's got a bunch of power and it's rear wheel drive and this and that. Like, sure, yeah, that means for fun, but
I'd like to.
I still struggle to think that it would be more fun than a truck with that amount of work into it.
So yeah, I mean that or a like a low class trophy truck or something.
Right.
Sure, that I get it, but that versus mine,
and it also wouldn't look stupid.
Well,
so
mostly. Yeah. I think that versus like, I don't know, a regular car, obviously it's going to be way more fun.
Yeah.
That versus any truck that is part of our normal group of people would be way more fun. I sense this strange amount of practicality coming out in your voice, Colin, which is it's a little bit concerning.
I don't think it's practicality.
It seems
just
like it might be.
It's just I think it's dumb.
Okay.
That's literally all it is. It seems like a giant waste of time. And it's very just like, it's like they're doing it as a look at me, Louie. Like the reason they did it is so that they can get attention, and that's it. But it's, again, we've had this conversation, in my opinion, it's the wrong kind of attention, because it's like, you're going to get plenty of people that are going to be like, oh, that's hilarious, that's cool, like that. But it's like, someone who views themselves as an actual enthusiast looks at it and is like, that's kind of dumb. Like, it's pointless. And I guess that's the idea of being an enthusiast, is to do pointless things. I mean, kinda. I do drive cars that are probably too low, which is pretty pointless.
Yeah, except for they look cool.
Other than looking
I
cool.
I think that's where the subjective part comes in, right? So,
and I got a pretty big grin on my face every time I scrape around in my car.
This dude, I mean, this is weird because it's a YouTuber, but like, if this guy is a genuine car guy, which I think he might be, judging by actually maybe both of them, but this Viper guy, super fast Matt.
I don't think the other guy is. Yeah, I think the Trail Boss guy is probably not.
Maybe the original owner of that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So both of these people like saw an opportunity and took it, whether it was for showing it off because they thought it was really cool or because they thought it would be fun. I bet they also have a big smile on their face driving it, right? So it's different. And that's like that weird subjective part of cool, because like objectively or subjectively, I suppose, I would rather have any number of cars that you've had or I've had in trade for a lifted C6 Corvette. Like, that just has no use to me.
Yeah.
But I've like gotten to a point, I think, where I pull back enough that I'm like, you know what? That's pretty cool. I don't want it. It's pretty cool. That's the difference.
I think a lot of it for me is that cars, like cars, not trucks, SUVs, stuff like that, they look good low. They don't look good lifted.
Yeah.
I think they look stupid lifted. And I think that's a big piece of it, is like I have a aesthetic thing that I need it to look cool, because I know I've seen slammed Vipers and they look cool as shit.
Yep.
This looks dumb. Like, it's just like half the bottom of the body is cut off of it and shit. Like, it's just, it doesn't.
Yeah.
it looks terrible, and I can't do it. I want it. I need things to look good as well as do what they are supposed to do or what you built them for. Mm-hmm. If it looks dumb, but does the thing you want it to, I feel like you're only getting 50% of the job done.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, to your point, Colin, he's got this cool, back to the Corvette guy, he's got this really cool well, I think it's cool, subjective, this cool lifted C6, but he can only drive 100 yards onto the sand before he has to stop because he's going to get stuck.
I mean, I'd love to test that.
Yeah, well, I'm watching the Viper struggle to go up a dirt hill because it's only got 2-wheel drive, so
True. Yeah.
and too much power.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying though, Colin, and I kind of have the same philosophy. It's almost like if it's 2-wheel drive, it's supposed to go low, unless it's a pre-runner or a stadium truck.
Too. It can be all-wheel drive and go low too, by the way.
True, but I mean, for all intents and purposes,
a 4-wheel drive though.
4-wheel drive, if it's a proper 4-wheel drive, it goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, but I also get the point of if you're having fun doing it, then fuck it. Who cares what anybody else says? Who cares what Colin says? Who cares what Jesse says? Who cares what Sean says? Who gives a shit about the Campfire Passport podcast?
I want to. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because I mean, I'm going back to the Corvette again because I didn't get to watch all the Viper thing, but the guy who built the Corvette really put a lot of care into it. That suspension is pretty damn good. So it's not bad.
If you think that's good, you should check out the Viper because he re-engineered an entire front suspension for it.
Yeah, he made
it's pretty wild.
Uprights for it and stuff. It looks like.
Yeah, I think he's like a mechanical engineer kind of fella, which is thing. I wanted to point out, not to sidetrack us too much, but
just nothing.
On the Drive article for the Corvette, since we're about bouncing
we can bounce back and forth. Yeah, that's
since we're bouncing back and forth, one of my favorite comments here is, "I must be getting old. My first thought was that'd be really easy to get in and out of."
I did see that. I saw that. Yeah,
Corvettes are just a pain in the ass to get in and out of. So, yeah, I get that.
Well, that's what Chevys are known for old people to get in and out.
Yeah. It's a hard life to live, when you got to look like Jeremy Clarkson getting out of a supercar all the time, You
remember that episode where he has the GT40, like the first generation newer GT40? He goes to that car park and he tries to get out and he can't do it because he can't go out the top or the side.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because he's a blithering ape.
Yeah. James May was just on the Smoking Tire podcast. I haven't. It's not out yet. I'm super interested to listen to it. I haven't heard anything with him. Apparently, he's. I don't know if this is why. I mean, he must be here for Car Week or something. I would assume in the U.S. But he has a gin. He has James May gin, which he was promoting or showing off. So kind of interesting. The off-road car thing is an interesting topic. I think we've talked about it before. I think we've complained about it before. I'm sure it'll happen.
Well, I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Oh, you definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The other thing we were going to talk about today was Steve had a good idea for a main topic. Do you think we should get to the main topic, or do you think we should try to throw in another thing? What do you think, Jesse?
Well, first I'm going to
because you have the hard
apologize.
Out, by the way.
Oh no, it's okay. We'll figure it out. First and foremost, I want to preemptively apologize to Colin for my background noise. I just noticed that my chair, every time I go to drink a beer, it creaks, and I see my little screen pop up purple like I'm talking. And I was like, shit.
I'm very lucky to have.
I'll get it in post.
No. Well, I mean, we've got a couple things to talk about still, right? I mean, did we want to talk about future potential trips for next year?
Yeah. That one might be fun. That wasn't the main topic I was going to go to, but I like that.
I think that I was telling Sean, next episode's 50. And I thought it would be funny to try and do a blowout episode and have try and get everybody as interested as possible into like everyone
Yeah.
coming on, like get 4 people in studio and then as many people online as we can, just because it would be funny. And then maybe that's the one that we argue about where we're going. But
you know what? I will talk about this off the air, but even if I can't make it like I thought I could make it, I still might be able to make it the other way.
Online. Yeah.
So that would be good.
See? That's
okay.
What I'm saying. So I did have something, though.
Okay.
In an all-new segment that's
All
nothing
new?
like anything we've ever done before. Okay?
Is there a new
Would you
Xterra?
pay money for this?
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Can you explain the rules? Because I like to win
So,
these kinds of games.
The rules, the rules are, I found a real vehicle that is for sale.
Okay.
Is for sale. We will give prices on this.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do, because this actually worked fairly well in other things that I was doing. I'm gonna screen share it.
Okay.
Okay.
And share with the audience, or share with us.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
but it'll
I
be
like that because
shared
then I don't
when
have to go to my computer.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a 2024 Wrangler Rubicon camper. Okay. $85,000.
It's so small. Why is it so small?
This is just your regular ass Rubicon with a V6. And
this is like a loading screen from
go.
19.
okay.
Oh my!
Oh, that looks bad.
Yeah. So
Wait a
it's-
minute.
Oh, yeah.
Is
okay.
that a
Are you noticing
Gladiator
it?
with a like regular Wrangler looking
Mm-mm.
window, or is it
Nope. It
a
is not.
long Wrangler?
Mm-hmm. See, you're picking up on it. Look at. What do you think of that?
Oh, it's an added-on bit to a Wrangler.
It's a Wrangler with a little extra butt.
It's a Wrangler L. That's what it is.
But only.
But it's the
but
same
not
wheelbase.
in the wheelbase.
It's a JKUL.
You know the difference between a 13 and a 15 passenger Econoline van?
Mm-hmm.
That's
There's more
this.
butt. Yeah, exactly. That is what this is. So yeah, it's for some reason
Wow,
it's got more butt
uh-huh.
and it's got a built-in tent
okay.
thing on the built into the roof.
Okay.
Okay. Still, and here's a good shot. You can see the amount of space on top of the bumper.
Okay.
Basically. So
A little bit.
it's maybe 10 inches, maybe a foot.
I'm gonna give it a foot and a half.
Okay. Whoa, foot and a half.
Yeah, well, it's 18 inches.
That's what she tells you. It's got this bumper that
that's where you put your recovery gear.
Yeah, protects your extra overhang.
That line is so
It's
bad.
such a weird. It's got a bad body line on it.
Okay.
For me, I would not spend money on this.
Okay. Okay. So let's do two things. While I'm thinking about this,
Mhm.
can you try to explain what this is for the people listening in some sort of generic detail, plus where they can find it?
Okay. So this is
Without subjective bias.
This is a for sale ad on Expedition Portal.
Okay.
So, the hub
Yep.
of overlanding equipment and vehicles and stuff like that. And so this is a 2023, well, he purchased in 2023. It's a 2024 Rubicon. Not a 392, anything like that, just your standard Rubicon. And it has a JXL camper kit, which is apparently
15.2 inches additional length.
15.2 inch additional length added onto the back of a stock Wrangler, and then a top that includes that extra length, and a pop-up top as if it were a what was the brand?
An Ursa Minor?
Ursa Minor, yes. So
It's like a bad Ursa Minor.
like that, yeah. It's a long Ursa Minor.
There you go. Yeah.
On there, yeah. Increases the cargo area by 50%.
It's impressive.
15 inches increased it by 50%.
I'm not good at math,
gonna
but
say,
I
I
think
don't know if
the stock cargo area is about 15 inches long or so.
I don't know if that's a shot at Jeep or a shot at the Ursa
Yeah.
Minor.
But in
camper thing.
so they are saying that the vehicle cost them over $100,000 to do this.
Seems to check out, I think.
Their price is $85,000 for sale right now in San Diego, California.
The name of the game again?
Would you pay money for this?
Okay. Do I need to take in consideration the cost of the vehicle to answer that question?
Would you pay money for this?
No.
Well, how?
Especially not that money. If it, let's say it depreciates all the way down to like $10,000, maybe, but it would be a hard sell.
Yeah. It does say that it is a bolt-on accessory system. So it does not require any cutting, drilling, or welding to put that on. So technically, you could take it all off. But at that point, why would you pay money for this if you were just buying it to take it off and have a gray Rubicon?
Yeah.
Or blue. Sorry. It's blue, right,
It's
John?
a little blue. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's more gray than your car. It's dozer gray.
That's dozer gray.
I don't like it. It looks a little bit like a hearse and a military vehicle kind of smashed into a Jeep somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly thought it was a Gladiator with a Rubicon, or not a Rubicon, a Wrangler back window cap on it. Because it must be. I'd love to see it next to a Gladiator
to see if it's the same length now.
I bet it's the same length. I don't know. Jesse?
I don't think you're wrong.
Would
I pay money for it? I would not pay $85,000 for it. No. Would I pay $20,000, pull the damn top off, and sell it?
Wait a minute, hold on.
And then have
you can't make it. You can't make it an amazing deal. It's still a $40,000 Jeep. So
you're not getting $20,000.
Well, you just said you'd pay $20,000 for it.
I've said when it depreciated.
So we're talking 30 years from now.
Right now, I will follow your logic 100%, but I don't think that's the game. Because every one of these, as we go forward, if it was $10,000, I'd buy it.
Am I going to pay $85,000 for that? Hell no. Would I rather put $85,000? How's this? I would rather split up $85,000 between eight of us and give each of us $10,000 to build up our vehicles.
What do you do with that extra $5,000?
I would not
pocket it.
No,
that's his little take.
That's his that's his vig off the top.
Go ahead and defend yourself.
But also, you have not played. You have not played the game correctly. Would you pay money for this?
So hold on. I gotta say something before you answer, Jesse. He just said he would pay money for this, right? Because he said not $85,000, but I would pay.
Wow,
$20,000.
So
that's amazing. I can't believe somebody would do that.
Sean said he paid $10,000.
30 years
At least
from
I
now.
doubled. So we could Facebook Marketplace troll this guy and get up to, come on, that's my stick. This isn't the first time I've stumbled over my words.
It's shtick.
Shtick. Anyway,
I don't think it's on
paid
Facebook
$20,000
Marketplace,
for it.
But...
Well, it's on Expedition Portal. Why would it be on Marketplace?
Yeah.
Two different crowds.
Audience is in Expedition Portal, not Facebook Marketplace.
I'm curious to see the comments on the vehicle later.
Oh, that's a good idea. Why don't you?
Because I'm sure that there
continue with your program, and I'll look through some comments, and
I'm pretty sure there's people just smashing this build. Like, why would you spend $100,000 on this?
It's Expedition Portal is a little bit more, refined than the Drive, maybe, for example.
There is no comments on it currently.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. We could be the first to comment.
I could be, but I don't want to because I don't want him to think I'm interested.
Hit him with a bump.
A bump for good price.
Here at Campfire Passport Podcast, we will pay you $15,000
collectively, and it's your choice on whether we do that in 20 years or today.
Mm-hmm. It's got 88 views currently. It was posted today.
Okay.
At 12:45 p.m.
You caught it quick.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, it was just a random.
That was
find.
88 laughs. that people had at that thing.
Sure. Yeah. All right. We were going to talk about, Jesse wanted to talk about current like project status, which I thought was kind of funny because he said, "Hey, have any of us done anything since the Rubicon?" And I said, "I haven't even washed my vehicle."
I haven't cleaned the inside of mine. I washed the outside, but I have not cleaned the inside yet.
I will say I did fix something.
Oh,
because I went to one of the local lakes over the weekend, and on the way home, I was driving along on the highway. It was hot, windows down, AC on.
Which your wheel almost fell off?
Nope, it was fine.
Okay.
It started smelling like gas, which wasn't convenient. And then I stopped at a store to pick
fuel,
something up.
You mean?
Yep. Well, gas, but fuel is also the
petrol
overall term. Yeah.
Yeah, petrol.
At the grocery store, it still smelled like fuel, petrol.
Mm-hmm.
And then I drove it home, and I was like, man, it just seems like it's getting worse. I don't understand what might be going on. And in none of those moments did I think to pop my hood and check. I just thought, it's hot out. I've been driving for a while, like up and down this giant hill. It's probably like evap stuff. I don't know. When I got home, I decided, I should pop the hood. And my fuel pressure regulator has a port for a gauge, and the screw had backed out, and it was spraying fuel all over my engine. Just a full gas bath. It was very nice.
Oh.
It smelled bad.
And that's very expensive gas bath.
Yeah, well, just regular premium around town. It's okay because I don't have to buy, Fields 91 or anything like that.
For
it's
driving around
just
town.
regular old 91. But not cheap, and it definitely used from Paulina to home. I burned a quarter tank pretty easily.
Ooh.
And I was going. It was hot, and I had the windows down, and I was on the highway, and I was going 75, 80, whatever. So I was like, well, it's uphill a little bit, maybe. And then, then I thought I should check this, and that's what happened. Anyway, so I just plugged it back up, tightened it, and all is well now. So that is my project update.
Well, your fuel spraying on your LS swap is a lot less severe than mine.
Oh.
Because on the Suburban that I did the LQ4 swap in, had what I'm going to consider a catastrophic fuel line failure, where I had all of the fuel in all of the lines just spraying everywhere. So every AN joint that I put on, or coupler that I put on, everything, the line was cracked and looked horrible. I couldn't drive more than 10 feet without losing a gallon of fuel.
Oh my God.
So I'm in the process of redoing all my lines.
What happened? Did you use not fuel safe stuff or something?
I bought fuel line from a auto parts store that I hold in high regard, and I said, hey, I need fuel line for a LS swap. So it's EFI. It has high PSI. And this guy's like, oh yeah, this'll work. I'm like, okay, cool. I trust you because you're from a reputable auto parts store that I like shopping at. It didn't work. So now I have a proper stainless steel braided AN6 line from the Corvette filter regulator up to the rail, and I just have to finish the AN8 line from the regulator to the tank.
So you think he gave you low pressure line, is what you're saying?
I think that he gave me standard fuel line for a carbureted motor.
Okay, so yeah, low pressure. That's interesting.
Yes.
I run -6 on mine, by the way, not -8. Just saying that out loud. I have a bigger fuel pump too.
I have to run.
He's saying he's running more fuel than you, Jesse. That's why he's better than you.
Oh,
it's not. I'm not better than you.
His LS swap is better than you.
He is also running more expensive fuel because I only run the cheap shit.
That's all I ever ran.
Sounds nice. I'm gonna get there. I think it'll do it now. But go ahead.
So I do run -6 from the regulator up, and then back to the tank. I have to run 8 because the way I rednecked connected my lines to the tank, because I have a fuel pump out of a 89 Suburban,
okay,
because it had the fuel, it had an actual fuel pump in it for the TBI, and then I swapped out the fuel pump inside, so it doesn't have AN fittings. So I shoved it on about 3 inches and then put 3 hose clamps on it.
Oh wow!
So I need
that is.
So I need
I
I need Dash 8 to fit over those
that.
stock lines.
Well, I did mine is a stock hard line up to the engine bay, so that's the other thing. So I just used an adapter in there, so which was
all right. Lucky guy.
Yeah,
well,
harder than you would think.
More modern vehicle.
More modern vehicle.
That's why it has a hard line from X to X versus.
Yeah, good point. Well, wouldn't the truck have had a hard line originally?
Mine did, but it's not. But there's it's all
just would have been like a hose clamp fitting.
It's not barbed. It's just all hose clamped with the bubble.
Yeah, that would have been maybe
the bubble flare.
Yeah, not great. I get it. Yeah.
No, it would have not worked, and I'd probably have more problems than I have now.
Yeah. If I was to redo my trans cooler lines, I would probably do there's like 100 kits to do like AN fitting trans cooler lines, and I didn't want to do that, and I think I talked about this before when I was putting it together, but like I did these hard lines that they're fine, they work great, like I have no complaints about them, but they were such a pain in the ass to deal with that every time I look at them when I'm under the car, I go, I should have done soft lines. I have like so much room in that area. There's no clearance problem. It wasn't that. It was just like, I want it to be kind of like factory. I'm going to put these cool hard lines in. Dumb idea. Dumb.
Well, can't be any dumber than me trying to make my Ram lines out of not high pressure lines.
Listen,
and
man,
blowing up 3 of them.
You and I made the same mistake, except for I only did it twice. So before I went, there's something seriously wrong here. I can't figure out. Is there a better solution? And sure enough, turns out the power steering pumps make a lot of pressure, and they require a different kind of line than your fuel.
Only what? Yours is probably like, what, 1,300?
I don't know. It's a lot. A lot. From what I was like, oh, this will be fine, until I read the stat on what they actually make, and I went, oh,
whoops.
That's not going to be fine at all. That was a real aha moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
I've hit full lock like 20 times since then, and it's never blown up again, so turns out that's good.
Turns out that's the
when
problem,
you can hit full lock.
I can, as long as I'm moving.
Yeah, not up against a rock or anything like that.
Can't at a sit still, even in a parking lot. Probably I could, maybe. Depends on the time. But
put some muscle.
The time it's been running, basically.
A fresh start at high idle.
Yeah,
there we go.
So, Colin, you've cleaned your truck.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Jim? No, I don't. Oh, you know what I did do? I did make a singular modification, because we talked about how I had bashed in my stock skid plate, so it was rubbing on the oil pan. So I had taken that off and flattened that back out, so it's not rubbing there anymore. But what I ended up doing was, since we found out as early as Gatekeeper, when my tires stuff into the fenders, they have a little bit of a problem with the AEV flares, and they like to go inside the AEV flare, and then when it comes back out, it likes to pull the flare with it.
Yeah.
Which didn't break anything for the whole time, so that was cool. Just made really loud, scary sounds until I got used to it, and I just said, it is what it is at this point. But yeah, none of them broke. It's only on the rears. One did get like a small crack on it, but no one would be able to tell. It's on like the inside of it. It's not like an outward facing piece of it. And so what I was going to do initially was trim the insides of them out so that they would make some clearance for the tire to come up.
Yeah. And
as I was doing it, I got, of course, I started my cut directly in the middle of the flare rather than at the end. And I got an inch. And I was like, I think I have a better idea. So I went and got the propane torch, and it's a little something I learned in my L322 days with fender liners and reforming fender liners. And I heated up the inside of the flare and then folded it as close in. So it was like I was rolling my fenders like I'm on a fucking Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
So I Volkswagen moment.
Folded all those up nice up against the, the actual fender itself.
Nice.
I haven't flex tested it at all to see what difference, if any, it made.
Yeah.
But it does seem like I've got it pushed far enough in now, and there's not like an edge for the tire to grab. So now even if it does rub on the flare, it should just kind of mold around and rub on it, and that's it. And then when it comes back out, it shouldn't grab the edge of it and try and pull it out with it. It should just kind of float back through it. So
I would think that that was a lot of flare. Like they're very thick. So I'd imagine that if you roll up
deep,
even a quarter of it, it would make a difference. If it's half, it's going to make a really big difference.
Yeah, so. It was about half, honestly.
That would be good.
So it's like, because they were, like you said, they go into the fender well fairly far. It's probably like a 4 or 5 inch deep deal. And I think now before the curl up, it's probably like 2.5 inches, maybe 3. So like, a good portion of it is folded up inside there. So
nice.
Yeah. But
nice.
Other than that and hitting my bumper with a hammer, a sledgehammer a handful of times so that my tailgate doesn't touch it when it opens.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all that I've done. Well, I guess I did trim a little bit of front fender well or wheel well. So there's, oddly enough, Tacoma guys, they'll know what I'm talking about. Body mount chop, but I only have to cut like a tiny little bit out for 37s, not for 35s.
You have to do a body mount chop?
Just a little bit.
You've been very critical about the
for
body mount chop.
For 37s on no lift. Not 35s and 3 inches of lift. Anyway, I had to trim a little bit of those off because mainly on the driver's side at like full lock in reverse. So when the wheel cambers out, it would rub on that body mount. So I just trimmed a little bit more of it off so that it's like at the same plane as the inside of the fender well, rather than slightly sticking out from it. And it doesn't touch at all now in regular driving. So
nice.
Those are my modifications.
Hey,
free.
There's still more than I did.
It cost me nothing but time.
Just time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is worth something.
For some people,
yeah. I always joke around. You've heard me say this that my time is worth nothing. That's like anytime I'm working on a car, like I can't put that into like how much I've spent on it or something. Like the labor,
your hourly rate.
Yeah, the labor into the
swap. Just
going
to add that into the cost.
That costs nothing. So hundreds of hours.
I'm
sure.
only worth $3 an hour.
I'm not worth that because that adds up quick. I don't want that.
It does, especially when you're working by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
It depends on what you're working on. I mean, if I have to work on somebody else's rig.
How many hours were you working on your LS?
And then as much as Sean.
Include research, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah, include research.
Gosh.
You got to
design time,
pulling stuff out.
R&D.
The R&D. You got to include going and picking up parts and bringing them home, selling parts.
I'm still on the clock.
It all comes in.
I'm still on the clock. As evident.
So is Jesse.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
As we talked about earlier.
Still dealing with
Not
this shit.
done.
No.
Never done.
I've been working on the Toyota for...
Oh, no.
Not even going to talk how long.
You got a career working on a Toyota.
Working on that.
Yeah.
And and the front turn signals still turn on when you hit your brakes.
Yeah, they do. Well, yeah,
Not anymore?
They do.
Oh, still?
Nah, I'm pretty sure I busted out the bulbs when I smashed them up or when I popped them out.
The ones in your bumper.
Yeah.
The ones in the front
those ones
bumper.
still turn on.
Yep.
Yeah.
when you hit the brakes.
It's just letting the people in front of me know that
Mhm.
I'm stopping.
Under braking.
It reminds me of the Formula Drift cars that have the little brake strip across the front windshield so you can tell when they're riding the brake. Every time Jesse would be on the brake, I'd be like, oh,
Yep, it's on the
points
brake.
down. I'm going to dock him a couple points on that.
I still have work to do on that damn thing.
Oh well, no project is ever done.
Never.
No.
Not with car enthusiasts.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
No, it's not. It's great.
Well, it's great until you
There's
like
nothing-
are really stoked about your car and everything's going great, and then you drive it, for an afternoon. You take a friend out for a ride, and then bam, your clutch cable breaks.
It's a very
And then-
specific
And
scenario.
then you have to drive it home without a clutch again.
Sounds like a Volkswagen problem.
Actually, I don't know if it was the cable because I haven't taken it apart. I put it in the garage. I turned it off. I kept the key in it.
Are you going to let
washed my hands
of
of
let
it.
it sit for 2 years?
Yeah,
like
I'm going
I
to do a
did?
brake caliper bolt situation on this one. I keep pushing it in and out of the garage, get it stuck somewhere.
Yep.
It'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
At least it's light enough that you can move it on your own.
Yeah.
That was my main problem was when mine, I couldn't move it, and my driveway is a slight hill, and it's a 5,000 pound, sedan.
dude.
So,
Oh, no.
Jesse showed up
I remember
at one
trying
point
to put-
and was
yeah.
like, "Well, we can push it in there." I was like, "No, we can't." It's like, "Well, let's try." It's like, "Okay." Nope,
Yep.
it
Nope.
went backwards.
We lost ground. Thanks,
we
Jesse.
lost ground on that one.
I'll blame Anna for that. She
Oh
just-
my
she
God.
had her foot on the brake. That was the problem.
That's why it went
Uh-huh.
backwards.
Yeah, lightest
Well,
woman in the
that
world.
caliper issue.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
caliper issue. The brake didn't hold.
breaks
The other
three
three
roll it
didn't hold
backwards. Oh, that's bad. I love cars, and man, I hate them so
It's a
much
love-hate,
at the same
yeah.
time.
That's how you know you're an enthusiast, man.
Yeah.
You hate it just as much as you love it.
Well, do we want to push that topic to our 50 episode 50 melee?
Well, we could talk
I
about
think that would be funny.
the
anything?
melee. Yeah, the melee for the topic that I brought up.
So yeah, Jesse, I'm sorry that Colin's going to try to push your topic of let's progression over to something that will be not. There will be no decision made if we bring it to that many people.
It's better content.
No, that's fine.
Much better content. Much
It's the
better.
reason I brought it up.
Because the best part of it so no one will know this except for you two before it happens.
Oh, good point.
Obviously, is
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what any of you guys fucking think. I'm the one that makes the plans.
Oh my God.
You guys just come with me.
Usually it's true.
I'll take your suggestions.
Excuse me,
I'll take your
sir.
suggestions. That's fine. Everyone has their merit, but it is I that has the final say. There's also the fact that you guys have to talk me into coming with you again because every time we do things now, it gets canceled. So
Yeah, no kidding.
We're also talking about two different. Well, we'll talk about it more, but two trips that are pretty kind of bigger deals. I mean, they're not huge deals, but it's not Sean's bachelor party, but they're pretty big things. So I would think that people would show up for it. It's not, hey, this is the plan to go do this fun trip.
Because I have something
we're
big
doing it
also
because
that's next year that can be looped into the excuse for it as well.
Are you getting married?
No, but it does have to do with that.
So
Wait, what?
Oh, no way.
See if Sean can figure out how many.
Is it that anniversary? Is it that big?
It'd be 15.
Oh, it's 15. I
Holy
thought 20.
cow.
It's
Sorry.
not 20.
I was like, I'm trying to do the math here, and I don't think it's 20, but it could be 20.
Oh my God.
And if it is, oh my God. All right, 15 is still pretty big.
Yeah, 15.
Congratulations.
So
Thanks.
I mean, you haven't made it
I
yet.
mean,
but
we're not there yet. We
congratulations.
still got another year. Shit's pretty bad right now. We'll see if we get through it.
We need, sorry, Justin, to interrupt. We need more content.
Oh, no, it's fine.
We need to make as much
much
length of content as we can make.
That's why I
And
brought the
so-
new segment in.
I like that segment.
That was
I want
fun.
that segment as a warning, and I think I'm trying to decide if one per
As
episode.
a warning.
I need someone to tell me that we're going to do it
No.
because I was trying to make one of those I was like, oh, maybe I should find a vehicle. And then I went,
No.
I am
like the
100%
idea
in control of that
per.
one.
Oh my God.
That's my segment.
That's just you?
That's my segment.
All right, cool. I like it. I plead your case to Colin every episode.
If I find something like that, that's...
Would you pay money for it?
Would you pay money for this?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Just gotta
Very
tickle
limited
my
amount of
fancy.
money, but yes. Would
Okay.
you pay money for a Trail Boss C6? 26 grand to be exact.
Not that much.
No.
But I would pay money for it if you want to give the clap. I don't know how much money, but not 20. It was 23, by the way, which
Yeah.
sounds so much better than 26 to me looking at that car. 'Cause 26 is like, oh God, no. And 23 is like, well,
How about
it's
15?
coming down. 15 for, I mean, that's a deal because if you, 15 for a C6 Corvette would be pretty cheap. You could have fun with it lifted, yard all that stuff off and sell it, make it a better C6 and be, and then sell it for more.
Okay, so now this is turning into another new segment that we could do.
How do I fix this?
No, it is the how much would you suck a dick for?
Oh, no.
So that's essentially what it is. It's like how
Yeah,
cheap does it need to be before
you get it.
Before you would say,
I like
okay,
this.
I would pay that.
I like this.
It's like would you suck a dick for $500,000?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
wait,
question
is that
isn't
a
would I? It's
okay.
Is that a question?
how many times can I do it?
Oh, okay. All right. So how about $50,000?
No, probably not.
Okay. See, so then we come back up now
This
to figure out
is
where the
not a
line
fun-
is.
It's not a fun thought experiment.
We are going to go down a rabbit hole here. Like, does it have to be completion? Like, is it a
that's a
quick
good point.
guy, slow guy? Like, I mean, do I have to suck that thing for
I don't
an
know.
hour and a half?
I don't know why you're trying to split hairs here. If you're
you
giving somebody a
this is
blowjob,
50
does that? Since when have you ever thought of a blowjob as to not completion?
Okay, all right, fine. There we go. It is to completion. That
I mean,
answers
come on.
that question.
Oh, I
But
got
I mean,
one for
50 grand is 50 grand. I could buy 2 of those C6 Corvettes.
What? This is something we talked about. To swing it around to Volkswagens.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. I think that's the easiest way. Oh, I didn't realize it had such a big
Oh, that's a new picture.
dent.
Yeah,
Okay.
that wasn't. He didn't
So-
have that picture before.
so
God
here's-
damn it.
We were in our local, in our group chat, which is local because most of us live here. Sorry, Luke.
Jesse.
And Jesse.
Jesse's, you're close enough. You're way closer than Luke. There was a 91 Volkswagen Jetta GL sedan for $5,600. It's got 73,000 miles on it. It's exceptionally clean. Although the guy did just put up a picture of a pretty big dent in the door. It looks like. So let's not that maybe.
Yeah.
How much would you pay for that? That's my
I
question.
wouldn't do 56.
that. Me either.
Yeah,
But I look at it and I go. So for me, I don't know about you. It's an automatic. First off,
it is an automatic.
big deal breaker for me on one of these cars. They're just not
Yeah.
a car I want an automatic.
But
I also don't
also-
like Jettas that much anymore.
But also with this era, I have no desire to keep that
A stock
engine in it anyway.
drivetrain. Okay, that makes
So
sense.
it would be like I'd be at least putting an ABA in it. Like
Sure.
it's
with an automatic.
with an automatic. It would be an easy,
Yeah.
quote unquote, easy swap for
Yeah.
one of those, and
It's a C2
anyway,
car.
but like, yeah, if I ignore that dent in the door that he just posted a picture
Yeah.
of, because that picture was not on there before. It was just that little dent at the trunk
Yeah.
that I mentioned, as how every Mark II Jetta has one, it seems
Yep,
like.
Yep.
It's exceptionally clean.
It's
like
very
it is
nice.
a
And
very clean.
Not only
Jet.
that, it's a good color combo. It's a white
White and
car, gray interior.
Mhm.
It's a big bumper. I mean, it's a 91, so it's a big bumper
Big
car,
bumper.
big window. It's really nice. Like
Mhm.
it's got all the things you would want that without being a GLI or a GTI.
Yeah, I
Things
think
that you guys want. I'm not a Mark II guy.
I think
So-
I'm not the biggest Mark II person either. But I do have a respect for when I see a nice,
Mhm.
well done one or a very clean one like this. So I would say 35, maybe 4.
Okay.
Is where I would go on that. Without that
Without
dent.
the dent.
With the dent, we're talking $2,500.
Yeah, it is one of those cars that, like, unfortunately, it's not worth anything. So,
Yes.
like, if this was a GLI, a 16-valve GLI, it's actually worth a little bit of money. It's not worth a lot of money, but it's worth a little bit of money. It's a 16-valve GTI, same thing,
Yeah.
right? But a GL sedan, like, it's not.
Yeah,
There's
and an
not-
automatic.
Yeah, there's not a lot of use case for it. I will say that as much as I hate the automatic, and it's a deal breaker to me, it's kind of interesting that it's low mileage and stock. And, like, part of me would be like, that's kind of cool to just have as a stock car.
I mean, you don't see many of them
No.
either. That's the other thing. Like, I remember there was one, I don't know if it's still around, but there was one locally. It was a Mark II. I can't remember if it was a Jetta or if it was a Golf.
Vaguely remember a 4-door Golf that was.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. And it was female owned. But it was gorgeous. It was absolutely one of the cleanest Mark IIs I've seen, and it was an automatic. And I thought, and it was just like one of those weird relics. You know, you look in the window and it's like, holy shit, that thing's an automatic. That's weird.
All right, Jesse, what's your number?
3,000.
I mean, I think that there's probably that's what they
that
cost.
dent in the door. That dent in the door screws it up.
Well,
Like-
no, like I said, with the dent in the
also-
door, I'm not. I don't know that I could even do $2,500 for it. It was on the pretense of he didn't have that picture before, and it looked like it was just a pristine almost Mark II, even if it is an automatic. That's where I was giving my like $3,500 price.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The 35. So then, okay, without dent in the door, $3,500. Also because I'm not a Mark II guy.
Fair.
I do appreciate the fact that it is stock. Like, you do not find that very
that's
often.
that
crazy.
because
And
you
it's
end up
really
paying the
damn
premium
clean.
for it being stock. Basically, is what
Mhm.
happens now.
Yep.
Same thing as if you were to find another Mark III.
I'd pay
I
way
know
more
you
for a stock
well
one.
enough
Oh,
that
God.
you would 100%. If it was a stock one, that's the one you're going to buy.
Yeah,
if
every
you're
time.
picking one.
Yep.
So yes,
If that was a if you found a Mark III in that condition, 100%, I would buy that for the, what is it, 56 is what
for
we
the
said?
56.
Here's a funny thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip this around for a second. I like Mark IIIs more, but
I think I do too. Yeah.
I would probably, I think this is worth what you guys are saying up to the price somewhere that it's listed for, somewhere in there. I think that's probably fair. But if it was
Sans dent.
what's that?
Sans dent.
Sans dent. Yes. But if it was a 97 white Jetta GL sedan,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pay a bit over $3,000 for it because I think they're so awful as like the base spec
Yeah,
car.
the base spec. Yeah.
They're terrible. At least these, I look at and I go, all right, it's still kind of cool. Like it's got
they
the
kinda-
flares and
they
it's got
have
the
some
stuff.
like of era things.
Yeah.
You know, like
But-
the interior is not like a bland interior.
Oh, the interiors are
of,
so
of
bad.
like
in
of
those,
the 90s
those,
one, like
oh
of
my
the
God.
Mark IIIs. It's got like the
God.
the
It's got like a
weaved like the
tweed type
the
stuff.
tweed looking
Yeah.
interior,
Not that
which is
terrible
kinda nice.
velour and that like stupid rubber shift boot. in
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those you gotta the
Horrible.
Mark
I
IIIs
forgot
you gotta
about that
get
shift boot.
Now,
you gotta get a little bit
on the flip side,
a special edition or something like that.
in an alternate universe where this is not an amount of money that I care about as much, but like I'd pay like maybe 15 for a like bone stock white VR6 GTI
Mhm.
Mark III. I think that's probably with this kind of mileage. I don't think I'd second guess that. Like that seems right. But Golf or Jetta, like base models,
Mhm.
it's not
Mm-mm.
not worth that much money.
Yeah.
Someday
No.
maybe, but I doubt it. I mean,
Not right now.
you got to figure there's less and less and less of them in this kind of condition as you go on. So
Yep.
eventually there's kind of a spot where
Yeah.
okay, it makes sense
There'll be a balancing.
for someone, but not me.
Mm-mm.
All right, cool.
Mark III or Mark I. That's it. Yeah.
I
Actually,
after
Mark
after,
IV,
actually-
32,
after owning
337.
all shit, I've owned I've
R32,
owned all
R32 Mark III.
I've done Mark
Mark
1,
V, didn't
2, Mark 3, and Mark 4, and Mark 5. Oh
Yeah.
my god. How many Volkswagens have I owned?
Nerd.
I think I think Mark 1s are the best. I've had multiple.
Dude,
Mark
that white Mark 1 that you had.
Which one? I had 2.
The diesel, the white.
The diesel.
The white diesel.
Jetta,
The Jetta Coupe.
I like that a lot.
That thing. Oh,
I didn't like the rabbit front on it, but it was a good car. I liked it.
You know what's funny?
that was a really great car.
As I sit here and say that Mark IIIs are my favorite,
Mhm.
I think Mark II, owning a Mark II is my favorite ownership.
Is your favorite ownership?
Yeah, because it's old enough that it's got old car charm a little bit,
Mhm.
but it's new enough that it's not so old car. If that makes any sense, it
Mm.
like drives a little bit newer. Like Mark 1s are a
100%.
little small. and
They
they're
are-
a little
yeah,
bit
they are pretty
more
small.
rattly and like
Yep.
kind of.
Their old
Oh, yeah.
car.
That's a.
So
It was.
I don't know.
It's a loud ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely noisier inside those.
Yeah, but I think that's probably I think that car is actually one of my
Of
favorite
course,
Volkswagens.
The 2 that I had are like as absolutely loud as you can be.
Oh yeah, a diesel.
An ABA with
Oh, yeah.
ITBs and a diesel.
Yeah, not
Turbo diesel.
Yeah.
not
Like,
the
oh my
smoothest,
God.
quietest. That's for sure.
2 loudest fucking ways I could do this.
Yeah,
Only way I could go louder is a VR with a turbo on it.
I don't even know if that's gonna
That,
do.
yeah, depending on how you did it,
That-
it could
that's
be
a-
quieter.
That's a
You know,
dream. A VR with a turbo.
I always wanted to put a supercharger on the Passat,
Yeah,
the little Vortec thing, because it would have been perfect.
I think that's
Just
the move.
super simple, low, like not that much boost, but it's like just enough to make
Just to
it
be
like
fun.
peppy, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like that, it would have been so perfect.
And to go back
That's
to
the one that's the
Because you
one
need.
that
'cause
as
you
much as I
need
like
one.
the Jetta Coupe, the B4 is the one that I wish somebody wouldn't have fucking backed into me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's the one that I wish was still around.
it was a good car. I was gonna say back to the aesthetic part of the conversation. I think in an engine bay, those old Vortec kits look so
They
much
look
better
cool
than a
too,
turbo
yeah.
kit,
hmm
which means nothing. But like a Schrick manifold and a Vortec, oh my god,
hmm
that is like peak VR6.
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, little polished intake.
Did
Come
you
on.
just do the swisher thing?
Uh-huh,
I can't even
yeah.
do that. I can't even do it. Like
What,
my
because
mouth.
you got your
does
zins in your mouth.
not- No. No,
Give me a-
because
give me
my
a-
freaking my old ass cannot make that sound.
Oh.
I'm almost 40, dude. I can't. See,